Our goal is not the victory of might, but the vindication of right. Not peace at the expense of freedom, but both peace and freedom here in this hemisphere, and we hope around the world.
I have a dream.
Well, that's where we start when I go into politics.
Continue to be held as hostages in an attempt to force unacceptable demands on our country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. It is increasing inequality and deep divisions among our own people.
Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack.
Congress has failed to pass federal hate crimes legislation that protects LGBT Americans from senseless violence.
So let us summon a new spirit of patriotism, of responsibility, where each of us resolves to pitch in and work harder and look after not only ourselves but each other.
Broadcasting live from the MSC Radio Network in a city built on steel, rock and roll, and is a fictitious home of Betty White. This is Joust It Out, and I'm your host, G. With me is the wonderful Judith Pindell. Don't look so shocked.
Good evening, everyone.
And the one and only Robin R. Hartz.
Fabulations, everybody. How are you?
The radio vixen.
I'm hoping they join us in the chat room today.
I know. Maybe they'll be in there. They'll join us. They'll join us. So, ladies, how's life?
It's wonderful now that Pride's over.
Oh, my God.
For those of us who had to work, I mean, it was wonderful. Don't get me wrong.
I agree. It's
a whirlwind, between last week and today.
I know.
It's just been a craziness whirlwind.
I know. I feel like we come on every week. We're like, oh, we're so crazy, but we are crazy. But I think the last week has been really intense, and certainly last Saturday was intense to say the least, and a combination of all of us having so many jobs to pull off Pride for all of our responsibilities. It was, but it was good. It was really good.
Well, I had fun.
Yeah, and
you guys had fun?
It was good. We did have fun when everything was all said and done. At the end of the day, we could look back and really feel good about ourselves. But oh man!
And I want to give props. Certainly all the volunteers that make Pride happen, not just here in Cleveland, but around the country, because it really is a labor of love when you take that on and worry about that many thousands of people in our community, in these festivals and parades and what that takes. And we're going to get into that a little later on. We had the great fortune of seeing our dear friend Stevie Reese on Pride, and I said, "Hey, Stevie, come on over." Stevie Reese is here tonight, and when we come out of break, she will be here chatting with us about Pride and all kinds of great stuff. I know we haven't had her on in a while.
No, it's been a while.
We love our girlfriend Stevie.
We do.
I don't think I was involved when she was around.
No, I don't think you've ever been when Stevie's here.
Oh, well, this is going to be a good treat for me.
It will.
Oh, I have had the opportunity to actually go shopping with Stevie before.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Me too, for all the wrong reasons.
That was an experience.
We'll talk
good
about that
times.
Did you buy shoes with her?
Yes.
That was
somewhere on
incident.
Facebook. There are photos of me with those shoes. Yes.
And your big hairy toes.
That will be the show page for this week.
Nice hairy toes.
Yes. My toes aren't that hairy.
No, you're right.
Not that I want to talk about my toes
okay,
or
well,
my
just keep going.
hair
but
on them. Kind of weird.
They were, it was just an adorable little juxtaposition in your little open toe,
Open toe.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
so
right.
what's going on in the world?
But also I want to say that, yes.
And his toenails were painted too, weren't they?
They were not.
No, not at that point.
All right, I'm moving on. Also, Matt Grisby, and I don't want to let it out of the bag yet why he's going to be a phoner later on, but he will be calling in, and we'll be chatting with him. So he'll be on in the second
Very
half
special
hour.
guest.
Yep,
Looking forward to talking with him.
But in the news, so last week we spoke about Eric Holder and him being in contempt of Congress because of Fast and Furious.
I just like to say that, Fast and Furious.
And you say it so well.
Hasn't there been like 6 movies now?
Right.
It does sound like a movie.
It is a movie, Fast and Furious.
It is?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, it is.
See,
It's also
what a geek I am.
an issue.
Vin Diesel, Vin Diesel.
Oh, God. I actually have a cousin that dated him.
Shut the front
Can we
door.
can we get Vin Diesel on the show?
I don't know. I've never met him or anything, but
You don't know how
God.
that relationship ended?
I think my cousin, who's older than him, he was like her boy toy in New York for years, and then he made it.
Make it happen.
Anyways,
make it happen.
Let's go back to politics. So, Boehner has sworn now that they will go forward with the contempt, and I want to play a quick clip here of our good congressman.
And the American people deserve the truth about what happened in Fast and Furious. The Terry family deserves answers about why their son was killed as a result of an operation run by the United States government. The House will vote next week on the contempt resolution unless these documents that we're looking for are in fact turned over. The negotiation that was proposed by the Attorney General is that we should accept some documents of his choosing, and as a result of him turning over some documents of his choosing, that we would never, ever pursue contempt. Now, this is not hardly a rational basis for a negotiation, nor is it a reasonable attempt at turning over the documents that we've been asking for. I understand there's a criminal investigation going on. I don't want to do anything that would interrupt that criminal investigation. But the documents, as an example, relating to why they sent the letter up on February 4th of last year, why it took them 10 months to retract that letter, what those deliberations are, have nothing to do with a criminal trial. And so those documents, I think, are important for the truth to come out.
For those of you who didn't understand the audio, G is about to explain it right now.
Okay, so what we have here is, let's be honest. It is political tactics. It's an election year.
It's exactly what I was going to bring up.
The irony of this is that we have a attorney general, U.S. Attorney General, who came in and wanted to go after the former president and vice president and the administration for war crimes. Democrats, the way they play the game, said, no, we want to bring the country together. We certainly don't want to do that. We have enough evidence, but we would never do that. And we certainly don't want to go after our former president and vice president and the administration in that way.
Even though they clearly deserve it.
Right. And at that same time, the Republicans, who were so upset about Obama becoming president, said, you know what? We're going to do everything we can to take this president down. We're going to block him. It is now the irony of this. President Obama stopped our Attorney General in doing what he wanted to do, and Eric Holder ended up being pulled off the case, and redirected in his focus. And now the same man is now being held to a level of being impeached by Congress. We talked about this last week. He's in some good company. It does happen, and it doesn't mean it's the end of his career or the end of or go to the next level. But what I did hear, which was really scary this week, was a senator out of, I think, Montana. And he was speaking, and he said, if it goes deeper, then we might be looking at the impeachment of the president of the United States. And that's what they want to put out there. Even if they have nothing to base it on, they want to go down this road. They want to talk about Eric Holder. They want to make the administration look like they have been been doing criminal activities, and they are at the level of impeachment. And, you start talking impeachment, even if it's just from Congress, in the sense of, the nuances, not, a presidential impeachment, but certainly from part of the administration. it really is a sad and scary tactic to use, and just to put that out there in a marketing way around the country of, oh, our president might need to be impeached.
Well, even just saying the word impeachment puts a lot of people who aren't really very well versed in the process of it all automatically think Richard Nixon. Like that automatically that's going to mean, like when Clinton was impeached. Okay, well he was impeached. That didn't mean that he was kicked out of the presidency. It meant that there was an investigation. There were these things that were going on around it, a whole process.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Right, exactly.
And at that time, our Speaker of the House, who was doing the same things our president was doing and cheating on his wife in various capacities and lying about all kinds of things and playing games.
Nothing.
Nope. But also because Dems don't play the game well. It's really where we fail. And go ahead.
Seems so
at the same
frustrated.
I am frustrated because we can say this all the time. Do we want to stoop to that level and blah blah blah? But at the same time, I absolutely do agree about looking into President Bush, Vice President Cheney, and all of those, everyone involved around war crimes. Absolutely. That's something definitely to spend time and resources and taxpayer dollars into looking into, because that shit was for real. We're not talking about somebody having a tryst in the back room with an intern. We're talking about legitimate war crimes that actually happened.
And thousands of people died.
Exactly. And so on the one hand, I'm like, I don't want to play dirty. I don't want to stoop as low as the other side, as the conservatives and the teabaggers and the Republicans, but at the same time, it's like, let's get some balls and let's do what has to get done. And that's where we fail.
I think the fever pitch in this country right now on so many issues, and the divide is just so darn great that when you look at the right and the left, and and more and more people are being pulled to both sides, and very few people are actually in the middle at this point. I think that when you continuously throw red meat out in issues, and that's obviously women's choice and around their bodies and health care, and you say that unemployment and jobs are tied to it, and people's survival and livelihood.
The national debt versus student loans, and what people are really more concerned about is it their own personal jobs and their ability to pay off their student loans, or is it this ethereal kind of, not ethereal, but like nebulous kind of like national debt kind of thing?
Wasn't the student loan thing up for debate, and it's went through Congress or something like that recently?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so
did it pass or fail? Do you guys know?
I don't know that anything's happened.
Nothing's happened.
We're on Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of stopped. The only thing that's still chugging along is we've got the Supreme Court that's going to be looking.
So tomorrow's a big day, obviously. I was going to make a point. No, that's all right. We jumped ahead to that. But before we get there is, you have a situation where in the nation, when you have that divide, and, they can usually throw red meat out and to kind of distract the American population, because when you have a presidential candidate like Mitt Romney, who really, and which came out this past week, is that Bain Capital's biggest motivation was to actually put jobs overseas to make great money, and then we're talking about record unemployment rates in this country. They don't want to have that. They don't want to have that conversation. They want to talk about healthcare and say that your rates are going to go up. We're forcing this on Americans. You're being told what to do by the country.
He wants to say that he can turn corporations around, and so that's what's going to make him a good president, because apparently the United States of America is a corporation.
Well, and the Supreme Court basically agreed with that.
That's
Again,
right.
we've gotten back to
Citizens United.
Citizens United, and that is language in there that really gives corporations so much power and billionaires so much power that the average American, and even just running a campaign, to think that you could be a congressperson if you're not, with a large war chest and
I just
millions of dollars.
read somewhere, and I'm sure it's out there all over the place, that the Republicans are using more out of of state dollars than they are locally,
Right.
versus Democrats that are, local and grassroots and care about their community are more local. You're not seeing these outside dollars coming in as you are with the Republican Party, pushing their dollars, their war chest into specific parts of the country.
Right. So the Supreme Court this week, they upheld that. And now tomorrow is going to be the health care. And I think that the fact that I've heard some average Americans who do not have a lot of money, who depend on their health insurance and have family members with no health insurance, really buying into this BS around the fact that states are going to be forced, the rates are going to go up, and all this other things.
I don't want socialized medicine, but don't touch my Medicare.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Right. And you're going to trust the same people who want Medicaid gone. They want Medicare gone. They want Social Security gone. They want to privatize it.
Oh yeah.
And and of course, when we're coming down to a Supreme Court, the majority are conservatives. We have a situation where we have Justice Kennedy, who sits in the middle, and we hope and pray that he votes for, and on behalf of people, of the people. And but the fact is that we don't. They're at a point where if you make the deal with the devil and say that corporations are people, and say that the average American doesn't deserve really the same rights as a corporation, and you keep on buying into that, I'm really hard pressed to think that they are going to go along with the people's choice on healthcare. And
The people's choice.
Right.
We are the women of the corporation's fetus.
It is the people's choice. I mean, I think that what choice is it? You're going to be on the behalf of the corporations and insurance companies and big healthcare, or are you going to be on the side of the little guy who's struggling out there, and many, many people who just can't afford healthcare, and what that looks like? I mean, that's what's really scary. I'm going to say a little prayer tonight, that the Supreme Court really takes politics out of it and looks at what is best for the average American. But I just don't know.
Yeah, it's really scary, and I have to be honest. I'm not holding my breath. I don't have the highest hopes.
No, I know, and
it's really scary. I mean, just in some of the work that we do, and thinking specifically about individuals who are HIV positive, and the poverty levels of the people, people that we serve, the young people especially, and some of the things that the Affordable Care Act has done already. For some of the young people who are lucky enough to have parents that have health care and they can stay on that, and just women's health care in general. It's a really scary thing to think about.
Right.
Tomorrow morning.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, I'm going to give this to you because my eyes aren't reading that well. But
Did you
anyways,
not bring your glasses this time?
I don't know what's wrong with my vision. I actually need to go to an optometrist because I've been worried about it lately. Because even this morning I was trying to read something on the bus and I was having an issue. So
it might be that age.
And I've never had a problem with my eyes. I know. But Chris passed me. So folks that are listening, Chris passed me off something. I don't know what the heck it was because I couldn't read it and it was jubbling in my eyes. So Judith is sucking it in, hopefully, if it matters or not, but maybe it doesn't. But here's the thing, that if we look at what is happening around jobs and that language and folks, and then we get back into Romney and Bain Capital and what is taking place here in even the state of Ohio, where our unemployment rate actually is going down. But yet the Romney campaign is so committed to saying that President Obama has messed this whole thing up that they are running two different roads. And, there's not just Governor Kasich here in Ohio, but there's other governors throughout the country who are they're not in disagreement with Romney because they're Republicans, but they are definitely in a weird position because, like Kasich, he wants to get reelected or go somewhere further, and he's been working on his own job initiatives here in Ohio. And so I want to just play this clip real quick because this is a reporter actually questioning John Kasich and where he's at with Mitt Romney and how their two conversations are going on.
Up to that outer banner that where you and Mr. Romney were, and it was almost like there were conflicting messages. Romney's message was, we got to bring jobs here. We're really hurting. The Obama administration has failed everywhere, including Ohio. And then you're saying hey kids, we got all these jobs going unfilled, and we're creating jobs like crazy. I mean, is it?
Well, I've told. I mean, first of all, we are creating a lot of jobs, and the numbers. And I told Romney. I was on a couple interviews yesterday. We still have too high of unemployment, and I feel that the uncertainty that comes from the administration on Obamacare and possible taxes and overregulation puts wind in our face. So my message to him is, we're doing what all of us thought would work, and it's working in Ohio, and we'd love you to do the same thing in Washington. But, you know, presidential campaigns are behemoths, you know, and I can't straighten all that out, but they'll understand it. They'll get to it.
Have you told Mr. Romney anything about what might work or play well?
No, I just told him what I just said is what I told him.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Wait a second.
You okay there? Oh,
I don't know what I was doing, but you know, the thing is that it's really beautiful because John Kasich is in such a quandary with Romney. First of all, Kasich did not want Romney to be the nominee, and then he's sitting there doing this. And I just want to say real quick before we go to break is, you know, this past week Kasich was stuck with Romney again, and Kasich, when asked the question, the same very question, said, I have to give credit to President Obama for part of being our unemployment going around.
Who knew we would hear that from our very own beloved governor?
John Kasich, because we know how much he loves President Obama.
Oh, my goodness.
So we are going to go on break, and we'll be back. And when we come back, we'll be here with Stevie Reese Desmond, the beautiful, the lovely Stevie Reese. We'll be back.
Friendly and ready to serve. MorningShowCentral.com. Call the show toll free. 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on MorningShowCentral.com.
MSC Radio Network weather is brought to you by NeoWeather and NeoWeather.com, Ohio's home for weather. A warm day outside today as temperatures make it into the middle 80s. We'll be almost 10 degrees warmer than that tomorrow as highs literally soar into the middle 90s. We could break a couple of records on Thursday across the area. Currently, the forecast highs are around 95 degrees, but it would be no surprise to see temperatures a few degrees above that. Those out near Toledo could see temperatures near or over 100 degrees. The heat continues on Friday with highs in the lower to middle 90s again across the area and a very slight chance for a late day thunderstorm or two. We'll also have much of the same story on Saturday with highs in the lower 90s and a slightly better chance for thunderstorms late in the day on Sunday as a weak cold front approaches with highs close to 90 degrees. From the MSC Radio Network and NeoWeather.com, I'm forecaster Mark Spencer.
If you live the lifestyle, then you should arrive in style. Lifestyle Limousine Service. Whether it's dinner for two, an evening at the winery, or a night out on the town, Lifestyle Limousine provides extraordinary service. Check them out on the web, lifestylemousineservice.com. Reserve your ride now. 330-903-0508. 330-903-0508. Lifestyle Limousine Service. And make sure you tell them Morning Show Central Radio Network sent you. Cocaine Energy Supplement. Due to great consumer demand, Redux Beverages has officially announced the return of its world-famous Cocaine Energy Supplement. It's now available at retail locations across the country, as well as online at ReduxDirect.com. That's ReduxDirect.com. Don't forget to be part of the all-new Cocaine Energy Supplement social network, where you can meet other Cocaine Energy Supplement fans from around the world. Cocaine Energy Supplement. You can become a member. You can become a member by logging on to lovecocaine.com. Heat 99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies Technologies. As its web hosting supplier, established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right.
Rise above the clutter, brand your identity, and make a statement. Broken Fan Media. Expert video production, television and web commercials, music video, real estate tours, live concerts and events, state-of-the-art post-production, video and audio editing. Check us out on the web at brokenfanmedia.com. 434-944-0472. Broken Fan Media. The next generation of sight and sound.
If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningShowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com. You're listening to MSC Radio Network, and like anything else on the internet, it runs on computers. Lots of computers. And you know, when you're dealing with computers, hard drives sometimes crash. That happened here at MSC, and you know what saved them? Rectiphy backup software. Don't believe us? Well, ask yourself this question. Are you backed up? Probably not. So don't be that guy and wait till it's too late. MSC did their research and tried tons of different backup programs and chose Rectiphy backup software. You know, peace of mind is priceless, and Rectiphy can give you and your computer system that peace of mind. Find out more at rectiphy.com. That's RECTIPHY.com. Having problems with your home computer or business PC? Looking to have some upgrade work completed on your computer? Have a special project in mind that may be too much for you to undertake alone? Time to call
Joe the Printer Guy!
Joe the Printer Guy offers a full-service hardware and software repair center at his facility to handle your PC, server, and networking needs. Let their professional service staff handle your computer needs. They offer expert service at an affordable price. Visit Joe the Printer Guy at 14035 Madison Avenue, Lakewood, Ohio. Online, joetheprinterguy.com, or give him a call at 216-651-3880. Joe the Printer Guy. Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits. A 99.5% uptime guarantee, and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. Oh, great. Not another Farmville request. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Morning Show Central. Denying one Farmville request at a time.
We're back. This is Joust It Out, and we're here. Oh my goodness.
What happened?
My voice. I lost my voice. What is that?
We're back.
I need some cocaine. Take it away, Judith.
Look who we have in the studio today. Oh my goodness. Stevie Reese Desmond.
Oh, where is she? Where is she?
There she is.
And I'm about to move my chair. I can't be seen behind the hair.
Behind that hair. Teasing it all the way up to Jesus, right?
Oh, no, honey.
I'm back.
This is my conservative hair.
Oh, wow. I'd hate to see your crazy hair.
Oh, honey. If anybody wants to see some crazy drag hair, check out Brianna Brooks. Honey.
Oh, we
girl,
just
she was with us last week.
Yes, she was at Pride. Honey, didn't she have some hair on, girl?
She did.
We do love our Brianna.
So, of course, we saw Stevie at Pride after all of our craziness, and
it took me 2 days to recover.
Did it? Yeah, I think it took me about a day or so.
It took me a day.
Yeah,
Yes,
not
it did.
2. You really worked it.
Well, honey, I seem to recall at the bar later you were working it too.
Oh, please.
And speaking of famous queens, Kiera says hi. She's in the chat room. Kiera Cartier-Fontaine is in the chat room.
Oh,
Hey, KK. How you doing?
So what was your take on Pride, Stevie?
Do you know what?
This year?
This year, Pride was absolutely incredibly phenomenal.
Mhm.
I mean, the attendance record was huge. I mean, the people, they were flooded all the way to the back, all the way around.
Yep.
And they stayed around the performance stage. It was just a sea of people.
Right.
And then when I was trying to have my bags brought in and everything, I was like dodging through people. I was like, wait a minute, it wasn't like this last year. What's going on here?
Mhm.
And it was just phenomenal. The only thing were a couple protesters that I saw coming down. If I wouldn't have been doing the show, we probably would have been doing a little benefit for Mama to get her out of jail.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a second. And, I think that we're going to kind of, in this half hour, really go over, kind of the history of what this looks like and certainly what has been happening in the community. We're talking about the politics of it, kind of building up this or ratcheting up this anger and hatred, not only towards the LGBT community, but anyone that is different or a minority group. And I think that that's really where we want to go with this part of the show. And, not to be a downer on Pride, but it's the final week of Pride, Pride Month. And a lot of people don't understand why the gay community has Pride. I actually want Judith to read. She has some quotes, which we're not going to read just yet, but we're going to play a video. And this is kind of how Judith and my morning started out. And we're going to talk about it a little. It actually has some national play. Actually, I'm told international play.
International.
Oh.
But I'm going to play this video, and then we'll go into it.
Every single year it's the costumes. They get bigger, brighter. The parade is like very
God, that's
festive.
me.
The colors, the people that it brings from all over the world.
It's an event that brings the community together, but for one group, almost didn't happen.
So we had a truck lined up to come and donate their services to be in the Cleveland Gay Pride Parade.
A local company offered its services, a truck and trailer, to the AIDS Task Force of Greater Cleveland. However, things quickly changed as they started to set up.
When the driver realized that he was going to be driving for the Gay Pride Parade, he then stormed off and drove away.
Really hard for us because today is so much about equal rights for all and about the celebration of difference and the importance of acknowledging who you are. And for him to drive away and kind of leave us high and dry was disappointing.
And while the situation was disappointing, the AIDS Task Force says events like the Cleveland Pride Parade are so important. Now in its 24th year, it's a mix of fun and a bit of education, leading to a greater goal: acceptance.
Luckily, right away, we were able to find someone to provide a pickup truck for us.
The company that initially offered its services was not available for comment, but the AIDS Task Force says things worked out in the end. The group won a first-place award for Best Float.
Cleveland is a diverse city, and we acknowledge difference in all kinds of ways, and that it's really important for the civil rights movement of LGBTQ people and all people that people aren't shunned just because it's something you're not familiar with.
In Cleveland, Annette Lawless, Fox 8 News.
So here we go. I don't think anyone could say it better than Tracy Jones, the CEO of the AIDS Task Force of Greater Cleveland. In her words, I think it really defines as a community what that day is in many ways. So Judith, let's, we're going to talk about this real quick. So that morning, we thought we had this float. We were all part of it. So in this video, you see Robin Our Hearts, you see Judith, you see the back of me. Stevie Reese is there. I mean, everyone that we work with, people that come on the show all the time. It's a big day. Everyone came out for, and I think we're all excited early in the morning.
Oh, we had been planning for months, just for our part of the parade,
Right.
not even the whole entire festivities, but, just to be involved in the parade, to show people that support and that sense of community, and that we're all there for each other, and just really excited. We had gotten up at the crack of dawn. We had gone down to the festival site. We had
set up for Joust It Out.
Set up Joust It Out.
So
we
we
broadcasted
broadcast.
from there. But so right after we set that up, we rushed over to the AIDS Task Force of Greater Cleveland, where we were all prepared to start decorating this huge flatbed semi-truck. And we had the decorations, we had the costumes that we rented, we had rented a generator so that we could have a DJ on the back of it. We were just so excited and running around like crazy. And it was, I can't even describe to you what it felt like. I mean, it was harsher than a slap in the face.
The way it happened was the driver who got there before Judith and I arrived, and people were milling around talking to the driver. And what happened was, you see in the video, you see an American flag made out of condoms, which goes with the campaign, do it for your country, always use a condom. That is why it was an American flag. So we brought that out, and when we did, the driver who was there said, "What kind of parade is this that I'm going to be in?" And at that point, we responded, Gay Pride Parade, and the man's demeanor changed like magic, and he became quite nasty really quickly and started making phone calls. And before we knew it, he was giving us the flag back. And if anyone saw him standing by the flag, that picture, some people thought he was posing with the flag. If you see these, because this story is everywhere in the internet, so you'll see a picture of the driver, Tim, next to it. And he actually was about to really give us the flag back, and we took the photo real quick. And he then got on his truck, started jacking the engine, and was really gonna go through the gate if the gate didn't open quickly. And Judith even said he almost ran people over. I mean, he was
you had to really run out of the way. I mean, he was seeing red. He jumped into his truck, slammed the door, revved the engine, and if you've seen that parking lot, it's not a huge parking lot.
Right.
And then there's a gate that you have to drive up to. He could not get out of there fast enough. I thought he was going to run the gate down. It was, we were standing there in utter disbelief.
We were shocked.
We're all excited. We've been looking forward to this day for so long. It's like the highlight of the summer for our community. And then this is the thing that happens to us.
Well, I think it was last week, G said it's good that things like this happen because it reminds us why we do it.
Well, I didn't mean that.
I mean, not every bad thing, but it reminds us why.
But it absolutely does, unfortunately, remind us why. That we can't just go out and celebrate our diversity and our community. That underneath all of this is that we have to deal with this hatred and bigotry and homophobia every single day, and this only highlighted it.
And honestly, too, I mean, there's another parade, there's another event where people go absolutely bonkers and nuts, where they're puking on the streets.
I know you're gonna say.
And one time I was doing public transportation on that day. I kid you not, I got mooned. With this little old lady sitting next to me. I looked up at front. Somebody was doing, nose candy, and they were drinking drinking alcohol on the public transportation. But yet, when we do our pride, or when Pride is done, we're very calm compared to
and
this
it's
event.
so contained. I mean,
really
I really have to say that the city does make sure that they keep us contained back there in that little corner of Cleveland.
And what is that day, Stevie?
Well, I'm going to be. It's St. Patty's Day,
of course,
and I've got some Irish blood in me too, honey. But when you're driving all through the entire city, I mean, the city's a mess.
Yeah,
it's a mess.
Everyone is out drunk and
Pride. We're just out there. We're doing our thing. We're loving what we're doing.
It's all education. I mean, you go through the festival. There are educational booths and nonprofit organizations and everything.
Wonder, why are we on Lakeside when we should be like in Public Square or something doing the parade?
Hallelujah.
Well,
but so this did make international attention.
Right.
It's everywhere,
but why? The reason why this is because I think for two reasons. Is that right now the LGBTQ community is a hot button issue. It is because in politics it is an issue that's been ratcheted up. So the far right and conservatives and Tea Party members and people who have been anti-gay for a long time, just they zoom it to you and they get angry really quick. And just like this guy.
And you're right, it's been ratcheting up, and now we have a president who has come out in support of same-sex marriage, and it's really like people are scared. These conservatives are so afraid. You know what I mean? It's like they've gotten themselves so wound up, so tight, so vicious.
Well, you know what I want to get to is that, because we're going to go back to this real quick, because I just want to get a call out. So, so obviously we have this horrible truck driver that did what he did. And I have to say that the world has been split. You look on the Fox 8 News Facebook page, you look through all these pages, there's people that are spewing out hate, but then there's other people coming forward and giving our community support, as what you were saying, Robin, that some of the good comes out of this. And this is one of the things that is good that came out of it. And hello, is this Matt?
Yeah.
Hi, Matt. This is G with Joust It Out. How are you? And you spoke to Judith Pendel earlier today. How are you?
Hi, Matt. It's Judith. It's so great to hear you again.
Hi. Thanks.
So this is Matt Grigsby, and Matt Grigsby was kind enough to offer his services next year. And Matt, so what do you do for a living?
I drive a truck.
You drive a truck. You sound like a truck driver, actually. I hate to say. I mean, not that it's
in
a negative.
stereotypical way,
Yeah,
Matt is a truck driver.
I'm being stereotypical with you, but you sound like a truck driver, Matt.
So, Matt, so it was just so wonderful to get that email today to show, that there is that support out there, that not all truck drivers are like
Ignorant.
Tim.
Yeah.
And so, Matt, I was just wondering if you could kind of tell us what were your initial thoughts when you read this story on Facebook, and what were you thinking, and what made you reach out to us?
My initial thought was that guy's an idiot. I don't know. I just don't have any problem with any of it. Just show up and do your job.
Right. So Matt, your take was he got sent to do a job, and he should have just did his job instead of making his own personal opinion part of the day.
Yeah, I mean, we get loads. It doesn't happen every day, but there's always loads that you don't like, or they're not nice to do, or dealing with traffic, or any number of things that aren't fun.
Right.
And you just keep doing it. It's just part of the day.
Well, Matt, I just want to say to you that we are so grateful for someone like you to come forward. And, we did see a lot of your brothers and sisters in the truck driving world who have come forward saying some of the same stuff. But you were, of course, our only offer to actually be the driver next year. And it sounds like the task force is going to take you up on that. And I'll look forward to meeting you and shaking your hand for doing it next year.
And it's just really exciting because, Matt, where are you based out of?
I live right outside Detroit.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
Oh, my God.
Not even from Cleveland. I love it.
What a hero.
Yeah, what a
What
great
a
guy.
hero, yes.
So, Matt, we are sending you thank yous and love and all that kind of stuff. Stevie, blow Matt a kiss.
Mwah.
Breaker
9-1, you're awesome.
Well, Matt, thank you, and we look forward to meeting you next year.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. All right,
That's awesome.
so Matt
A man of few words, but damn it, he does his job.
I know, Matt Grigsby. Chris, we have a photo up, and I just want to have that photo up for a few seconds or a few minutes while we actually talk about this. But
those are the angels.
They are the angels. And, here's the thing, that there's a reason these angels exist. They actually came out at a time after Matthew Shepard was killed, and to stand up against Fred Phelps and his family and the hatred that they spew out. And it was a brilliant way that is now caught on throughout the nation over these years. And it is probably one of the most poetic moments, I think, think when you're in the march from our perspective and to see those angels around the protesters, because pretty much in the country, everyone knows that the police, and when these permits are given, there's usually a space throughout any parade that's where the protesters are going to be. And it has become kind of the LGBTQ community way of doing this. And it's just a really amazing thing to see. And I think it really symbolizes what we go through as people and just needing that. And to know that angels come in many shapes and forms. And I'm going to give you Matt as one of those. And when, our family members and our loved ones and the people in the community who stand with us against this hatred, and, for let's face it. So this truck driver that did that to us that on Saturday morning, for him, there's probably 5 employees he works with at least that would have said that is the wrong thing to do. But he's the one idiot that we dealt with. And I just think that we can't forget that. And we have to think of those mass numbers. And most people are good. And even if they won't stand up against it, they might stand with us or behind us. And
we can't allow the one bad apple to ruin the bunch.
That's right. And when you think about the history of the LGBTQ community and what we've been through, in some ways, these are the moments that remind us of not only our history, but what we will face in the future too, because it's not, we are going to have just as many hard times as we've had in the past around these battles. And when, religion is used in any way and the LGBT community's civil rights and equal rights are used as political fodder and just to ratchet up things, it's just there are things that we're gonna have to face together as a community. And I think that the last days of reading the comments, and Judith, I want you to read. But why I'm saying all this is, as Judith is going to read some bad comments that I want people to hear, just because we have to be honest as a community, and people need to really be honest about some of the hatred and how dangerous it is. So I'm going to have her start reading some of those comments as we kind of keep on talking, and Stevie. But before we get into that, I just want to say that I know that much more love and understanding and true hearts of equality are out there outweighing these. But go ahead, Judith.
So I'm going to read one of these that came off of one of these posts from here. It's a little long, but I think it's worth reading. Anatico Shirley says this: for those saying, quote, it's a contract, let's say it was for pedophiles, rapists, who believe that they are doing what they're doing is right, people who support murder, those who want to bring attention to adultery or sexual desires with animals, people who believe in beating children. The list is endless of what we should be against and have convictions over. Religion would play no part in those things, so I don't think this conversation would be discussed. But one's beliefs against the lifestyle of the gays, we are all bantering rights and contracts. When one is permitted in the eyes of a society to say no and be able to stand on their moral convictions, contract or not, he has the right to say no if he feels strongly enough, and if he were to lose his job, then he still stood for his beliefs. The company can get another driver and fulfill the contract, but then he qualifies. And before anyone says I call gays any of those things I listed, I did not, and I do not compare them to those things listed. It is to point out if those things were on for a parade and one chose not to participate, they would have the right, and we would not be so upset and posting of fulfilling a contract.
What? Go ahead.
Okay, so I read it verbatim, but here's the thing, and I saw this in many posts.
Yeah.
So if the driver showed up and found out that he was going to be in a KKK rally, you're saying he doesn't have a choice. Don't try to compare a hate group that calls for lynching to a pride festival that calls for love and acceptance and diversity and equality and families and caring, support for each other. And these kinds of arguments hold no merit.
That's right.
It's disgusting. It goes. I mean, there are a couple other ones.
Before you do that, Stevie, what's your take on it? I mean, go ahead.
Well, and just like when I was talking about when I was going to Pride, I saw a protester who had a sign that equaled homosexuality to being a pedophile. I wanted to pick up a baseball bat and just whoop his hind end up one side and back down the street. I mean, as a gay person, I mean, just like Jerry Sandusky, I would like to take a baseball bat and beat that man half to death. You know, we are not about this. We are about families and loving one another and helping one. We're open to everyone, to help everyone. That's what we're here for. And that's what our Pride is about, to show you that we are such people. And people that turn around and want to make it into this nasty thing, I'm just like, really? What's wrong with you? Are you that brain dead and brainwashed from the 1950s?
Right.
I mean, they're focusing on sex. That's all the gay community is. It's all of our crazy sexual antics.
But guess what? All those crazy sexual antics straight folks do too.
I know.
Exactly.
I've seen the website.
I see the website. All right. So, yeah, go to another one.
Okay, so Amy Rainey, somewhere out there in the internet world, says America keeps saying we have choice, and that is right. So if gays and everyone has so many rights, why shouldn't the truck driver? Sick of it all. Why is there even a parade for gay pride? Can we have one for black pride or white pride? KKK. Not happening. What is wrong with you people? Have your relationships and shut up. I don't go around having parades because I'm a heterosexual. Who cares?
Because you have your rights, your
And
equal rights.
privilege.
I mean, we wouldn't have parades if we didn't have to have parades. If we didn't need to raise awareness, we wouldn't be in the street. We'd be at home.
And again, St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July, they've got all the parades as far as I'm
The
concerned.
Rose Bowl.
Right, and what is Mardi Gras?
Right.
Oh
You
my
know?
God.
Right, what's
Mardi
that
Gras
for?
is just a big decadent.
Right, oh, but I mean, but that's, yeah. Is that a gay? But no, there's a couple more on here that I
Go ahead.
do want to say.
Yeah.
But Rich M. Erdman, if they make him driving the parade, I say put it in 10th gear and make rainbows on your tires. Now on that note, to clear something up, the term phobia means to be scared. So to be homophobic means to be scared of gays. I don't approve of gays. Some say I might not like gays, but I'm not scared of them. So the term homophobia does not apply. The above was a joke. I don't want people hurry like that. I'm just a smartass. And then he goes, I can't read the rest
Well,
of it.
here's the thing.
So-
Okay, an uneducated.
But yeah, put it in 10th gear and make rainbows on your tires. I think
Right.
was what we should have all gotten.
That's
from
what
that
we got
post.
from it.
No, he's not scared. He's
And I
just a
love-
bitch.
And he's not scared.
And I love how they say it and then take it back. And
Right.
it's like, oh,
just kidding.
yeah, like,
It's like, I got a lot of black friends.
yeah, right.
Well, why would you say something derogatory about somebody and then say that? It's whatever.
Okay, but then this one takes the cake. And this one is the really, truly frightening, scary one.
Yeah.
So Russ Lockett, I would have drove it for free and turned as many homos into roadkill as I could.
Yeah. And so, and just so you know, when we saw some of these, we read them and then we kind of clicked on. These are on Facebook, so these were posted on Facebook onto the Fox 8 Cleveland site. And when you click it, you get to see their profile and stuff. So of course, I clicked on his, and in his bio it says, "I believe in mass murder. I love mass murder." I mean, it just goes down a whole road, and I really get worried when you think about it. Like, that's someone, and if you look at his page with the photos and everything on it, it's like, holy crap, there's a guy out there who would run down a gay person and kill them. I mean, and it's...
And not only that, he would probably kill a woman
Oh,
walking across
right.
the street.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
He's a complete
Probably
sicko.
African-American. I mean, he would probably kill anyone that he didn't like or was a minor.
He probably wears his sheets around the house.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
He's a sociopath.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I mean, and here he is putting that out there.
And he doesn't
I mean,
care.
it really is kind of almost like, a Columbine outside of a high school
Right.
type of thing. We see it out there. We know it's coming. It's like a box of dynamite. When is this going to happen? As the driver, that little bit set him off. I'm not going to drive in a gay parade. but what's going to be the next thing that's going to set him off
Right.
where he's going to actually turn violent?
I remember there was one point on Saturday that we were getting, like, we're going this back and forth and trying to get a hold of the company and this and that. And I thought, we don't want him in the parade anymore. Believe me, we just are so upset. I mean, because at that point, we're not going to put a guy with a giant truck that hates gay people in a parade, and you know what could that turn into? I mean, that's it's scary.
And by the way, the company never did respond.
Yeah.
Well, they're a bunch of losers.
Can you say the company? You can't
I'll
say the
say
company?
it. I'll say it. It's Mr.
No.
Perfect timing on that, Chris. The
That's all right.
producer
Let it
saved us
go.
all.
That's all right. You can
It's a different company.
you can find it on the AIDS Task Force of Greater Cleveland.
You can
Facebook
find it all over the. You can find it in the
You can
internet
go-
world.
on the Huffington Post. You can find it.
in the
But you
Advocate.
know, but to tie it right back around, this is why we do Pride, to teach people to break those stereotypes that
Right.
people think that we're these crazy recruiting pedophiles
And someday it will be a celebration purely just like the 4th of July is, where we can celebrate and
Our
not have to be
community, right.
afraid of terrorist acts.
And we won't be standing there with angels protecting
Right.
us from the nasty language
Right.
of hate-filled people. And you know, it's about the process. It's about time. It's about time and years to go by. We've talked about this on the show before. You know, each generation, it does get better. We work it out. And I just think that right now our country is in such a unique place in the sense of we're talking about 1950s thinking
Civil
from
rights. We're
one
looking at
side,
the civil
one
rights.
party, and the other party so progressive that we're talking about, you know, peace and love and tranquility in our paradise.
This
And I
is
think-
our 1960s civil rights movement right now.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and on top of it too, I mean, shoot, I just lost my train of thought.
Mm.
See,
It's you know, it really is though so hard when you hear these words and then you look back and you see the angels protecting and
Right.
it's, I mean, and you think of how that happened out of Matthew Shepard. It was the same point in time, 1998. We had Clinton in office. That whole frenzy of the right that just felt so out of control that they're bombing
Remember?
family planning
it was
clinics.
Jerry Falwell saying purple
Yes.
Teletubbies were gay,
Right.
and I mean, it just like
And
was
it built up,
really-
built up, and it erupted
Yeah.
into this poor young man.
Right. You know, on Saturday, and I really, you know, you realize you live in a bubble too, because we are people in some ways of privilege, and you know, just we're lucky enough to have good lives. We have wonderful families, and even though we know about what goes on and we are in part of it and deal with it, even work. It's still, you don't realize it until it's in your face. And I think I remember just standing there, and at one point my heart sunk, and I thought, I haven't seen hatred like this in someone towards me that doesn't even know me, just based on my label, in a long time. And I have to say that Judith knows this. I really broke down. It was like having my heart ripped out of my chest, and
an incorrect label.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just really, I mean, it really, really was hard. I mean, just thinking back now, I'm like, I'm on the verge of tears just thinking about what that feeling was
And
like.
we had young people all around us who are so full of energy who have not seen that. Would that, you know, and if they have, they've never seen, you know, I don't think of that, that obvious price I'm going to make you pay because you're gay. And, you know, because, you know, and a lot of times in 2012, it's a refined prejudice. It's not, you know, that ignorance is
not so blatant.
It's not so blatant, but when you see it blatant like that,
Backhand.
it just really takes your breath away.
But you know, just to put even a positive spin on the thing, there are other places in our country or in other places around the world where you can't even hold a Pride Festival.
Right.
So we're very, very blessed
absolutely.
here.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
And I think we also owe it to ourselves to get out there and keep educating
Oh,
and,
yeah.
you know, disbarring all these.
We were determined that one person was not going to ruin the whole day. We were going to have our frickin' float. We were going to frickin' we won the Pride Parade.
Right. And you guys showed up with smiles on your face.
We were there, and we did it. We
didn't
made
know
it
anything
happen.
was wrong.
Right. We
Well,
made it
that- oh,
happen.
the news is
We
here.
went there.
Hi.
You know.
Yeah, the news was there for, but hey.
But
we
you know,
have
and that,
publicity.
you know, when you look at the grand scheme of things, you know, getting over something like that really wasn't that, you know, we were able to pick ourselves up and just
Yeah.
move on, and that's what we do every day, you know. But, you know, it's just really unfortunate when we're seeing the hate that's rising up so much that we're seeing teenagers killing themselves girls committing suicide that we've seen. I know we don't have time to talk about it. Those 2 young women in Texas.
Yeah.
You know,
we will talk about that
my
next
God,
week, though.
and-
Yeah. It's so tragic, and hopefully there's more details about that. But those 2 young lesbians who were murdered, you know, I think that's. But we have to keep on going, and we have to keep on going and educating, and we will, and we always do, and we're
going to stick together, and we have our allies,
and we have to keep smiling, and we have to embrace and unite with the people that love us and stand with us, and that's what we're going to do, and we are going to also dance our asses off.
Can I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
At Dancing in the Streets,
Yeah.
coming up.
Yep. So
at July 29th.
You got it. So,
yes.
And but tribute to that, it is 8 o'clock and we are going to have to go. I have one short video, and my hat is off to these young people dancing their night away and saying good night to Pride, shaking their booty. I'm going to play this now, and anyone that wants to check out this video, please go to our YouTube page. It is on there.
Cleveland Pride 2012.
This kid cracked me up. It was hysterical.
That song is We Found Love in a Hopeless Place.
That's right.
By Rihanna. Look. A lot of booty there.
Oh, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Okay, how old are they? I hope we weren't being pedophiles.
No, they're over 21.
This was the after party at the club.
Oh, this does look like... Wait, is this behind the bar?
No, that's out at the stage.
Oh, you performed that night, didn't you?
No, I performed at
Pride.
At Pride.
Okay.
Oh, girl, I was whooped and beat by the time I got. Oh, hey.
Here comes the smack.
I love the woman slapping his booty.
Who says white people can't dance? Says the only black one in the room.
Oh, and they
Next
kiss
to all the Europeans.
And they give a nice kiss goodnight. Stevie Reese, please kiss our folks goodnight.
Good night, y'all.
Robin, our hearts. Give
Goodbye,
a kiss.
darlings.
And happy Pride. When we come back, it'll be the first week of July. And everyone have a wonderful July 4th, because our show is supposed to be on July 4th.
Hiatus next week.
Yeah, next week,
Happy
July
birthday,
4th.
America.
Yep, happy birthday, America. Celebrate. Be safe out there. Don't light yourself on fire with fireworks.
Spread the love, not the hate.
And we'll be back the second week of July. So
see you next time.
Yes, we'll be back.